What if the real problem is not long term care planning, but the way traditional long term care insurance was built? Many people agree that long term care planning is important. It's probably something that we should consider as a family. It's an inherent risk that we've seen take place in our family, in other loved ones or friends. And so, what if the problem is not long term care planning, but the stories and the experience that we've had with long term care insurance? Many people I meet with. I was speaking last week at Leisure World and I was giving a presentation on long term care insurance, the importance of planning for these things and the statistics. 65-year-olds that are healthy in America, there's over a 70% chance you're going to need long-term care. Husband and wives that are 65 years old, there's over a 91% chance you're going to need long-term care. And people understood that at the seminar. However, their problems weren't with long-term care planning, it was with the experience they firsthand have had with long term care insurance. What do I mean by that? Well, they've seen rising premiums over the years. They've seen claims not get paid out. They've heard the horror stories of long term care insurance. And unfortunately, that's a reality. Traditional long term care insurance has been thought about as use it or lose it, right? We purchase a policy, and if we end up needing long term care, hopefully the insurance company covers our claim and they're able to then cover that expense that we incur, right? However, many people have had to cancel those policies over the years because these insurance contracts, they don't have a guaranteed premium. So the premium that you were paying 10, 20 years ago has risen so drastically that you can't even afford to keep your policy today. Or when it comes time to pay the claim on your policy, the insurance company battles you on that or they didn't cover the claim. Well, then if they don't cover the claim, every dollar I put into my policy was wasted, right? There's no other value to me having this long term care insurance policy. I share this with you because I found that many people understand the risk of long term care, the cost of it, the expenses associated with it, the reality that it may happen to you. However, traditional long term care insurance has scared people away from planning. What I oftentimes talk about with my clients today is not your traditional long term care insurance. And the reason why is I do not want clients having to put money into a product that is use it or lose it based. I want clients to be able to confidently put money into a long term care plan that they know is going to be used one way or another by them and not the insurance company. What I utilize now with my clients and the majority of agents and advisors in the industry use with their clients is asset based long term care. I was sitting down with another advisor in my office earlier this week, and I asked him, what is the most important part of asset based long term care that you would share with a client that had a bad experience with traditional long term care? And he told me it's a use it, or use it concept. And I said, that's interesting, right? Because all of my clients that have had experiences with traditional long term care insurance view it as the insurance company has to pay out our claim, otherwise, we lose it. Or if we stop paying on it, we lose it as well. So with the asset based long term care, I'm sitting down with this advisor and he's telling me it's a use it, or use it. What exactly does that mean? That means that the money I put into a asset based long term care policy has three components. It has cash value, so it builds equity similar to another asset. So down the road, say 5, 10, 20 years into that plan, I can decide to pull out my cash, oftentimes, which has grown a return now. Secondly, it has death benefit. So if I pass away It's not a use it or lose it. My family inherits a death benefit from that policy. Third, and arguably most importantly, it has a long-term care income stream still. So when it comes time to me needing long-term care and I'm filing that claim with my insurance company, traditional long-term care insurance, the insurance company is looking at that policy and telling themselves, well, if we don't pay the claim, there's no value to this policy for the client. There's a lot of incentive for them not to pay out the claim, right? However, with asset-based long-term care, when the insurance company is sitting down and reviewing whether or not they're going to pay out your claim, they know that you have options. If they don't cover that claim, they're still going to have to pay you out your cash value if you decide to cancel that policy. Or if you were to pass away, they're going to have to pay out your family a large death benefit. What is a better financial alternative for them? Being stuck with paying you a lump sum amount today to cash out your policy, having to pay your family a large death benefit if you were to pass away, or making consistent small monthly payments back to you and towards your long-term care and actually accepting your claim. I'm here to tell you that with asset-based long-term care, that inherent risk with traditional long-term care insurance is not the case anymore. It's a use it, or use it mentality. One way or the other, your money is going to go somewhere other than the insurance company. And that's important because what I found is you do care about long-term care planning. You've just had a bad experience and you've heard the horror stories of traditional long-term care insurance. Claims not being paid out, premiums rising, and that use it or lose it mentality. So when you decide that you want to revisit or you're having that first conversation around long-term care planning, think about asset-based long-term care. When looking at asset-based long-term care planning, know that when you put this plan into place, it's a use it, or use it mentality. That money's going to go somewhere that you care, and you can not have to worry about the traditional long-term care insurance route, which is the biggest reason why I am personally seeing many people like yourself not tell me, hey, Joe, I don't understand the importance of long-term care planning. I just don't believe in the way it's traditionally been done. And you don't have to fall into that category anymore. I'm excited about all of the great planning that I get to handle and take care of for my clients. It's such an important priority and conversation to be had. And so when you sit down tonight with your wife, your spouse, your other family members, and you're having that conversation, know that there's a newer alternative out there for you, and it's called asset-based long-term care. I personally represent the entire marketplace and utilize many great insurance carriers with it today, and it's become a huge part of financial planning for clients all throughout the country, and it's something that you should be looking at and considering as well. If you found today's content helpful, like, subscribe to more of our content, or leave a comment in the section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on long-term care, maybe some of the unfortunate experiences you've had with it, and how asset-based long-term care could be a good alternative for you as well. Thank you.